In this video, we're going to talk about if you're a small business owner, you should have at least two bank accounts, sometimes more, but at least two bank accounts. My name is Darren Mish. I'm a tax attorney based in Tampa, Florida, representing clients around the United States and around the world. So you should have at least two bank accounts. And some people are watching this and they're thinking, well, that seems kind of obvious. It's not obvious. It's not a week goes by, certainly, where I talk to a small business owner prospect and I ask them about their bank accounts and I ask them about their document retention, which we'll cover on a different video. And it's kind of like bank accounts, plural. I have a bank account that I use for everything from my grocery bill to Netflix to my business expenses, but I only have one bank account. And that's not a good idea. That's actually called commingling, and I cover commingling at length in a different video. But the reason you should have at least two bank accounts is because you're creating a mess. You're creating a mess for yourself, because if you're the one that's sort of getting the numbers to the tax preparer at the end of the year, then if you've ever been through this, that's a tremendous amount of work, depending on the number of transactions you have in a month or a year. It can be a lot of work to get that straightened out. But also, you're creating a mess for the IRS. If you have an audit, certainly you're going to have a problem, I would suggest, where the IRS is really not going to be too happy with the fact that you only have one bank account where your groceries and your personal expenses and your business expenses are coming out of one account. That typically doesn't go well. There's almost a presumption that if you're using a personal bank account for business as well, that anything that could have gone to the business, the IRS is going to try and disallow those expenses and just characterize those as personal. You're almost like losing the benefit of the doubt in some ways. The other thing is, if you are handing this off to a bookkeeper or an accountant, you're making a mess for that, tax preparer as well. And they're probably going to charge you to unravel that mess. And the truth is, nobody really wants to deal with that. What they want is nice, clean figures so that they can prepare the tax returns. They don't want to have to do a lot of prep work before they can even start to prep the tax return. So if you have a separate business bank account and you're fairly strict, I would say hopefully very strict, about only using the business account for business expenses, and then either transferring money into your personal account or otherwise paying yourself into the personal account and using that account for personal expenses, that would be the very best course of action to take, the best habit. And that's because now, if somebody has to look at your business bank accounts, it's nice and clean. Revenue, deposits going in is your total revenue. All they have to do is add up the 12 monthly, the monthly deposits for each month, 12 months, that's your gross revenue. And then they can, at least to get your gross or your net profit, they can just subtract the expenditures from the gross revenue, and you'll kind of know where you are as far as that goes. Now, of course, you're going to have to categorize those expenses, and that is a lot easier if they're not mixed in with your groceries and all your other personal expenses as well. And lastly, if you use a solution like QuickBooks Online, you can actually attach that virtually, using the computer, to your business bank account, and QuickBooks Online will actually suck all that data into QuickBooks, and you won't have to do that data entry. Very difficult to do when you're sorting through all the personal expenditures as well. So that's why at least this tax attorney says you should have at least two business bank accounts. Some people have more. So some people might have a separate account for payroll. Certainly lawyers would typically have a trust account where they hold client funds or unearned funds. But the idea of having one bank account that you operate your personal life and your business out is just a mark of a fundamentally unserious business owner. And we don't want to be unserious business owners. We want to be successful and live the lives that we want. So that's my opinion about why you should have at least two different bank accounts. If you have any questions such as this, or you have IRS problems, I would encourage you to give us a call at 888-GET-MISH, or you can visit our website at getirshelp.com.